Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
New at 6 early this morning, a fight between a driver and a pedestrian on the Eastside turned violent, leaving one man seriously injured. We'll break down what happened next. And a deadly workplace accident at Techport yesterday, a jet engine rolling on top of a man. We'll tell you what happened and how it unfolded.
And we are off to a muggy start. It's humid out there this morning. It's going to be a warm weekend, pretty uneventful, but there are a couple of things I'm looking forward in the week ahead, including a cool front. Details soon.
Good morning. It's 6 a.m. on your Saturday, already September 20th. September is flying by, Sarah.
Wow, it really is. You know, I just got to enjoy a little bit of a vacation. I was off the last week or so. We went down to Florida. We went to St. Augustine, Florida. And I'm a meteorologist. I should know this. But I was thinking Florida, and I was thinking, muggy, humid, hot. No, it was absolutely gorgeous in St. Augustine. There was like low humidity, a breeze the whole time.
I'm very jealous.
It was gorgeous. This weekend, though, is going to be hot. So back to what I'm used to. Toasty weather, 93 today in San Antonio, 93 tomorrow. There's a 10% chance for a stray afternoon shower tomorrow. So that's really our weekend forecast. Fairly run-of-the-mill, what you usually expect for a September weekend. As we look ahead to rain chances this week, there is a small chance for rain, mainly on Wednesday and Thursday. 30% chance. This is because of a weak cool front expected to move through San Antonio. I'm going to have those details and how much will actually cool down coming up in just a bit. Sarah.
Sarah, thank you. An Eastside shooting left a man seriously hurt this morning after a fight between a driver and a pedestrian. San Antonio police say this happened on Baldwin Street and Pine Street on the east side just after 3 this morning. A man was walking down a street when a car pulled up and some type of incident occurred. Authorities believe the man walking took out a gun, shot the victim, and fled in the victim's car. The victim is in the hospital and police are investigating. This morning, a man is dead after a tragic accident at Port San Antonio. Authorities say a jet engine rolled on top of him. It happened around 4 o'clock yesterday afternoon behind the Boeing Center at Port Tech off General Hudnall Drive. So according to first responders that were on scene, the victim and another man were moving a jet engine on a dolly when it began to roll. The engine hit the victim, causing both men to fall off a 4-foot loading dock. That engine fell on top of the man who's in his 70s, killing him. Police say this is a workplace accident, noting the engine weighed more than 5,000 pounds. An update to a story we've been following. San Antonio police are on the hunt for a 5th suspect linked to the shooting death of 14-year-old Simon Cuevas. This is 17-year-old Andrew Cantu, who officers say played a role in the beating and shooting back in April of Cuevas. Surveillance footage captures Cuevas walking with a group just moments before that attack outside Brewer Academy, the SAISD alternative school. So far, 3 suspects face capital murder charges, including 2 brothers who are the ages of 14 and 16. So we can't release their names because of their age. And 18-year-old Fernando Flores is behind bars tonight in Bexar County. The 4th suspect, however, died by suicide last month in Laredo. And this morning, grieving parents are protesting in downtown San Antonio. They're calling for accountability from city and county leaders on their children's cases. The group is called San Antonio Grieving Mothers Fight for Justice. Some of their loved ones were victims of gun violence. Others died in the Bexar County jail. But no matter their loss, they say more accountability could have been taken.
This is not the journey that no parent or sibling wants to be walking, but we are walking it.
So starting at 9 this morning, they'll march from San Fernando to San Antonio Public Safety Headquarters. And this past week, the San Antonio City Council approved a $4 billion budget Leaders unanimously passed the plan. It includes funds for new police patrol officers, but fewer than some members wanted. Garrett Berger tells us the vote wasn't so smooth.
And this $400,000
Councilman, your time is up. Councilman, your time is up.
In the delegate agency
Councilman,
fund amounts to less than 2%.
Point of order. Your time is up. Funds. Councilman, please respect the body. Thank you.
A tense moment as a council member made a last-ditch effort to add more cops into the budget, saying the city needed to stick with a previous expectation to add 65 patrol officers next year.
Backtracking on that promise is nothing short of government malpractice.
San Antonio's been trying to add 360 patrol officers over about 5 years to allow more time for proactive policing, like checking trouble spots or patrolling for car burglars. But facing a budget crunch this year, city staff proposed only including 25 toward that goal in last month's draft budget. And though it later got bumped to 40, White and others still wanted more.
I originally wanted an additional 100 officers added to our budget, but I am now aiming for 65.
But with the city already scrounging, how would they pay for it? White suggested it come out of money to replace computers and funding for delegate agencies. Misty Spears suggested cutting into an overtime budget meant to help fill open spots in police patrol districts.
Please vote.
Both proposals got shot down.
The motion fails.
But the city manager said the city's also waiting to hear back on a grant to help pay for another 28 cops.
We've gotten police officers through that grant 2 years in a row, and so we applied for it again. We'll know later on in the fall.
This is Garrett Berger reporting this morning's national headlines. For the first time since COVID turned everything upside down, the CDC is taking a step back. A new panel says deciding to get a COVID shot should be up to each person, not a government rule. That vote was unanimous, but this decision has some people worried about vaccine safety. The CDC still has to sign off, and COVID shots will stay covered for insurance as for now. President Donald Trump has launched his new Gold Card immigration program. He signed an order to make it official. This plan lets foreigners fast-track their visa requests by paying $1 million. Also, companies can invest $2 million to sponsor foreign workers they want to bring to the U.S. 6:07, 72 degrees coming up. How to stop house fires before they start. We'll share some easy tips to protect your home and the big mistake to avoid if a fire strikes. Still ahead, edible arrangements are known for fruit, but a company is putting a twist on it. Texas just said no to banning THC products, and that's opening doors for new hemp businesses. We'll tell you about that next.
All right, we are off to a warm start. It's in the low to mid 70s right now. Humid. This weekend, pretty run-of-the-mill like the last couple of days, but I've got my sights set on a weak cool front next week. I'll have details after the break.
Okay, have you heard of edible arrangements? They're known for their fruit deliveries. Well, now a company associated with that one is delivering a different kind of edible, the kind with THC in it. So you might remember Governor Greg Abbott vetoed a ban on THC in Texas a few months ago. Our Zaria Oates explains that legislative battle is paving the way for more businesses to tap into the hemp market.
This was always a category they were curious about, providing opportunities for health and wellness and these moments for consumers that create this wow factor, helping with restful sleep or relaxation or, name any pain management.
Thomas Winstanley is the general manager for edibles.com, a brand owned by the same parent company as Edible Arrangements. Now buyers can purchase THC from edibles.com if you meet their verification standards.
We have age gating on our website. We have ID verification at the time of checkout.
This is an effort Senator Jose Menendez has been fighting for at the state legislature to be a policy for every THC retailer.
I support common sense regulation of THC, like I do of weapons, in the sense that only adults 21 and over should be able to have it.
Regulating THC has been center stage in Texas, with veterans leading the charge in keeping THC legal.
I had to have 2 brain surgeries, so cannabis has literally saved my life. They had me on a lot of medications. I've been able to get off of everything using cannabis.
According to a 2024 map from Rice University's Baker Institute for Public Policy, Texas is one of 19 states where hemp products are legal with few restrictions. This type of business remains legal in Texas after an attempt to ban THC was vetoed by Governor Greg Abbott this summer. While there's still uncertainty over what THC laws could look like in Texas in the future, for now, edibles are fair game in store across the state and online.
Yes, they will be using an edible arrangements truck.
That was Zaria Oates reporting. The San Antonio Fire Department, USAA, and San Antonio Spurs player Stefan Castle are teaming up to prevent house fires. Some may think it may never happen to them, but victims often say it can happen in an instant. So how do you stay safe? Simple measures can go a long way.
Place it directly on it, smother the fire. Leave it on there for a time. It'll put the fire out. It's safe, it's easy. Keep in mind, that is what you want to do if it's a small grease fire contained in the pan, if it hasn't spread.
Officials also say placing a fire blanket can quickly extinguish a fire, but throwing water on it is not recommended because it can cause the flame to spread.
That is important. And if you are, let's say, boiling potatoes on one side of the stove and frying some chicken or something else on the other side, that's where accidents can really happen.
Do you know this from experience, Sarah?
Maybe. Maybe. But hey, if you live in the hill country, it feels great this morning. Elsewhere, it's a little muggy. So take a look at your screen. This is a look at current temperatures. It's only 63 in Bernie and 66 in Kerrville. So those higher elevations, about 10 degrees cooler than around San Antonio, where it's 72 at Stinson, 70 in New Braunfels, and 70 in Seguin. A gorgeous morning for those in the hill country and a bit muggy around San Antonio. Now, as we look at the futurecast today, it's going to be quiet. It's going to be a hot day. But tomorrow there is that small off chance for a stray afternoon shower or downpour. You can see very, very isolated in nature, 10% chance. Vast majority of us will not see any rain this weekend. And so starting off your day today in the 70s, by noon we'll be at 84. Around about 4 or 5 o'clock, that's when we'll reach our high today of 93. And then this evening, temperatures will quickly fall into the 80s. By the way, in the afternoon, during the peak heat of the day, it shouldn't be all that humid, so it still should feel okay. And it's going to be mostly sunny. 94 in New Braunfels, 93 in Hondo, 96 in Del Rio, 95 in Beeville, and 94 in Pleasanton. Now, here in San Antonio, we're going to be hot, yes, but areas like Nashville, Jackson, Mississippi, up toward Louisville, Kentucky, they're also going to be just within a degree of us here in San Antonio. That's pretty hot for them for this time of year. Honestly, many of the areas that are really only feeling the fall coolness and crispness in the air include areas across the northern tier and areas like Maine and Vermont. This is where we've got a low pressure system in place, allowing for that cooler air. But meanwhile, high pressure is going to be building in over Texas, and that's going to keep things toasty and dry for us for the first part of the week here. You can see that high really maintains its dominance in our forecast, really outdoing these low pressure systems to the west and to the north. By Wednesday, though, a front is going to try to make it toward San Antonio and Texas. It's going to sink into the northern part of Texas. It's going to be a very weak front because, again, that high pressure system will be so strong. But that cool front, rather, could allow for 1 or 2 showers on Wednesday. And so as we look at our temperatures on Wednesday, again, not a huge big difference. It's still only going to be 91 in San Antonio, so still warm, and only in the 80s and 70s across parts of North Texas. So a very weak front with only a small chance for rain. We'll call it about a 30% chance on Wednesday, and Thursday and Friday a small chance too. So this is not great when it comes to our rainfall outlook for the week ahead. As we start fall officially on Monday with the fall equinox, it's going to feel a lot like summer. Highs in the 90s, a small opportunity for rain Wednesday. But coming up in the next half hour, we're going to talk about a better rain chance beyond the next 7 days. And I want to give you an update on the tropics. We've got Tropical Storm Gabrielle. I'll have the track of Tropical Storm Gabrielle and a look at how this hurricane season has been fairly quiet compared to the last couple of years.
Okay, cool front. Maybe October, end of September.
Usually October, end of September is when we see our first real deal, very noticeable cool front. This one that's coming up this week, meh. Unimpressed.
Trying to plan Dottie's Halloween costume, like, do I keep it nice and light, or do I go, you never know here in South Texas.
You really don't. It can be chilly, but odds favor pretty mild. So.
Thanks, Sarah. 621, 72 degrees. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. In San Antonio, we love our flavor, and we're diving into some of the most delicious dishes from around savory birria and sizzling fajitas to juicy shrimp and hearty molcajetes. Here's David Elder with a preview of today's Texas Eats segment.
Now, in the back, quesadilla tacos. I'm loving this. You have the cilantro on the side, the onions, and then on the inside, you got the birria. You have the cheese on there, a little bit of lime juice. All right, the quesadilla taco. Man, great flavor. And in the back, this item is the one we saw get made in the kitchen. You have that salsa on the bottom. You have the cheese on the side. You have the bell peppers and nopales in there, the onions, the beef, the chicken, and then, of course, the shrimp and the country sausage that's right on top.
We use some panela cheese, brings a little bit of a creamy mix in there.
I think we got the exact same bite. Yes. All right, look at us. I love the texture of the shrimp. You guys really know how to treat shrimp out here.
So excited for today because it's the second annual Texas Eats Food Festival at the Boeing Tech Port Center. You can try food from 20 top restaurants from across Texas, made by Michelin and James Beard award-winning chefs. You still have time to buy tickets. Just scan that QR code on your screen. A portion of the proceeds will benefit the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country. I'll be there. Sarah Spivey will be there. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it's inside in the AC. And if you have gently used medical equipment to share, the second mobility collection drive of 2025 is happening today from 9 a.m. to 2 p.m. Just drop off your items at the Wonderland of Americas or the Shriners Auditorium. Everything donated will be carefully refurbished and sanitized to meet state and health safety standards before it goes to someone who really needs it. It's a simple way to make a big difference in our community. 626 and 72 degrees. A 9-year-old girl from California making a big difference for Hill Country flood victims. We'll share how Juniper Clark is helping communities far from home. And a fire broke out early this morning, prompting a fast response from firefighters. What we know from fire investigators. Good morning. It's 6:30 on your Saturday.
Morning.
It is September 20th. Today is the big Texas Eats Festival.
Yes, it is. We're going to be there at Boeing Tech Port. It's going to be fun. I'm excited to try some of the delicious food that they'll have there.
Most importantly, it's inside in the AC
Yes.
because it's going to be hot, Sarah.
It's going to be about 93 degrees when things kick off. Now, I want to start, though, with a look at the tropics. So here is Tropical Storm Gabrielle. It has been a relatively quiet tropical storm and hurricane season. Tropical Storm Gabrielle, the only land that it could potentially impact is Bermuda. It is going to skirt Bermuda, though, to the east and really only create some waves and perhaps some winds as a Category 2 hurricane. But by the time those winds reach Bermuda, likely going to be just some gusty winds before heading back out into the open Atlantic by Thursday. So not an important storm when it comes to the United States' forecast, but we'll keep you posted. Gabrielle is only the 7th named storm this entire hurricane season. And you can see that really we haven't had as quiet of a hurricane season over the last 10 years. On average, we see about 14 named storms, so we're only about at half of that. And looking farther down the line, we're not really seeing much. So what you need to know for our weather, though, here in San Antonio is that this weekend we're going to be in the low 90s. It is going to be warm. There's a small rain chance, but not until tomorrow. We'll talk about that coming up in a bit. And this week, what I'm watching is a weak cool front on Wednesday, giving us slightly higher rain chances, but not much, only 30%. We really need good, healthy rain, and there are some indications in the next 10 days. So by this time next weekend, where perhaps we could see some decent rain chances. I'll talk about that and the drought outlook for the rest of the year coming up in just a bit. Sarah.
Sarah, thank you. In the early hours this morning, a garage fire erupted on a Westside home. Firefighters rushed to put out those flames, but they spread. Fortunately, everyone was able to get out unharmed. The house did have some damage to it. The cause is still unknown, and fire investigators are working to find out what set off that fire. Well, help for the Hill Country coming this morning from halfway across the country. A 9-year-old girl from California is fundraising for people impacted by the deadly Hill Country floods by selling handmade bracelets. This is Juniper Clark. Her great-grandmother lives part-time in Ingram. She last visited the Hill Country back in April for spring break and kayaked for the first time on the Guadalupe River. After the July 4th flood, her family says she wanted to help, so she started making bracelets out of rubber bands. She raised $1,000, and she's trying to get even more.
And we were brainstorming ideas, and I said I could make bracelets.
We wanted to give back. Her love language is really like gift giving and just like caring for others.
So most of the money she's raised has helped a kayaking group in Kerrville and the Mountain Home Volunteer Fire Department. Now she's trying to raise more money for the Hunt Volunteer Fire Department. Plus, 2 Texas rivals will join together this weekend to honor one of the girls who died at Camp Mystic in the Hill Country floods. SMU and TCU will honor 9-year-old Lila Bonner at today's football game. According to a social media post, Bonner's father attended SMU and her mother went to SMU. I actually went to school with her mother while we were both at SMU. They asked fans to support the foundation called Lila's Light, saying, quote, "Together, let's show that even in rivalry, we can unite for a cause greater than the game." Lila was one of the 117 people who died in the Hill Country flood on July 4th. That game is scheduled at 11 o'clock. Well, this morning, police are now looking for a man, Severiano Valdando, in Karnes County. He's wanted in connection to the murder of Michelle Jansen. So Karnes County deputies say they found Jansen inside a home near Highway 72 and Helena Street in Runge. The sheriff's office says evidence collected pointed to Valdando. So now investigators are looking for him. He's 5'9", 195 pounds, has brown eyes and black hair, was last seen wearing dark-colored athletic shorts. The sheriff's office says he also has a pistol and is considered armed and dangerous. So if you see him, officers say do not approach him, but contact the Karnes County Sheriff's Office. That man, again, on your screen, and that number on your screen, 830-780-3931. 18 years in prison for this man, 42-year-old Jerry Hernandez. He was the driver of a concrete truck that hit Hayes CISD school bus last March, killing a 5-year-old boy, and a 33-year-old man was also killed. Hayes CISD released that video from the cameras on the school bus that show that oncoming concrete truck drift across the double line in front of the bus. That crash happened as the bus was taking pre-K students from Tom Green Elementary School and 11 adults back to campus after a field trip. Hernandez was indicted on 2 counts of manslaughter. According to his arrest affidavit, Hernandez told DPS troopers he had used marijuana and cocaine and had only had about 3 hours of sleep before the crash. A Bexar County Sheriff's Office deputy has been fired for smoking a marijuana vape pen in the staff bathroom. So BCSO confirmed the arrest in charge of 23-year-old Ivan Estrada. They say he was caught after a deputy at the detention center smelled marijuana coming from the restroom. So after an investigation, they determined Estrada was the last person to use the restroom. Investigators say they tested the vape pen and confirmed that it did have THC in it. By KSAT's count, Estrada is the 10th BCSO deputy arrested this year. He had been with the department for almost 5 months. Well, Texas families could get tens of thousands of dollars toward their kids' education next school year. It's because a new state program aimed at helping children with disabilities. Zaria Oates spoke with a family hoping to benefit from this program.
They could be eligible to up to $30,000 per year.
Up to $30,000 per year per student toward their education. That's how the Education Savings Account program, also known as vouchers, is aimed at helping students with disabilities in Texas.
If a child that has special needs can benefit from a school that is a private school, this program will give them the financial freedom to make that choice.
It's a new law that Deborah and Ava are hoping works out for them.
I have autism, and I also have a few other disorders that really hinder my ability to fully learn in a public school environment.
So her mom took her out of public school and enrolled her at Fusion Academy, a private school on the far north side.
I had to be straight with her and tell her I cannot commit for more than 1 year. Let's see how it goes. But I took out some loans and just to make it happen. And I hope we can next year.
How has the year been, your first year of private school?
The year has been really amazing. I met a lot of friends, and the teachers are amazing. And I've been completely on top of all of my work. And it's been insane because I was never able to do that.
It's unclear which private schools in San Antonio will opt into the ESA program, and schools that do opt in do not have to accept all students that apply.
It's scary to think we might have to go back to the drawing board.
That's why Inga Cotton with the School Discovery Network is trying to keep parents informed about the program before the application even opens up.
If the student has a disability, then depending on what it says in their IEP, like what services they would need, they could be eligible to up to $30,000 per year. The student needs to get that initial evaluation, and that's actually done at their local school district, even if they never intend to enroll at their local school district.
Zaria Oates reporting. Now back here in Bexar County, voters will be asked about amending the state constitution and whether to help fund a new Spurs arena. But 45,000 people are still waiting for their applications to be processed. Bexar County hasn't been able to enter any new voter registration since July 2nd. First, because of technical issues with the system updates. Now, because it's changing registration systems entirely. And the onboarding process has lasted a month so far, leaving Bexar County elections officials unable to enter in new registrations until it's done. Meanwhile, the November 4th election is quickly approaching.
Will every one of those people be able to vote in November?
100% yes. I currently have a team set up who have gone through the additional trainings that are required by the state before they can get access to the team system. They are here, they're ready to go. We're just waiting for them to flip the switch.
Elections Administrator Michelle Carew hopes that switch, so to speak, will be flipped by late next week, at which she points it believes it will take the county about 10 to 14 days to enter in those applications. The voter registration deadline is October 6th, but election officials have more time to actually enter the data into the system. 640 and 72 degrees for decades. Antonio Garcia, aka Hollywood, was the man behind the camera at Mi Tierra. He passed away last week, but his photos still tell the story of San Antonio's heart and soul. And this week's pickup lines includes a guest the Alamo City all knows. Police Chief William McManus shares his journey from college football star to law enforcement veteran.
And we are off to a warm and muggy start this September day. We are expecting highs in the low 90s, but a weak cool front this week and beyond the next 7 days could have an impact when we trace our rain chances. Details soon.
All right, this week on Pickup Line, San Antonio Police Chief William McManus reflects on his 50 years in law enforcement. McManus grew up in Philadelphia and first joined the Washington, D.C. Metro Police Department in 1975. After a failed tryout with the NFL's Washington football team, Commanders. He was a college football standout at Villanova and had once dreamed of becoming a PE teacher in France.
Well, you were an excellent athlete in your youth.
Yeah, I was.
Football was your sport of choice?
You know, I grew up playing every kind of ball there was.
Yeah.
And anybody who watches this who's from Philly, we played stick ball, half ball, fastball, box ball, step ball, wire ball. I mean, if it involved the ball.
I've never heard of some of those games, by the way.
We played it. And
the chief also talks candidly about his retirement in 2014 when he took a security job with CPS Energy and how close he came to leaving San Antonio for Tucson, Arizona a few years ago. Obviously, that didn't happen, and obviously he didn't retire. So you can watch the latest episode of Pickup Lines on the free KSAT Plus app, and you can also watch it right now on KSAT.com. Another fun fact about the chief, he loves cats. I did a really fun story with him where he just melts around kittens and cats, and it's actually really cute. Okay, Hispanic Heritage Month runs through October 15th, and to celebrate, the Pearl will host Mariachi Mondays at the Pearl every Monday from 6 to 7 p.m. And the San Antonio Charro Association will host 16 de Septiembre Charreada event from 3 to 6 p.m. today on Padre Drive. Tickets are $15 and children 12 and under get in for free. So if you've had your picture taken at Mi Tierra in Market Square in the last 50 years, Antonio Garcia was probably the photographer. His nickname was Hollywood. He passed away last week at the age of 81, and I was able to speak with people who loved him, who spoke about his legacy and how he captured the heart and soul of San Antonio and its people, one picture at a time.
He was a magical person, his iconic smile.
The man with the camera, also unofficially known as the ambassador of Mi Tierra downtown, making everyone feel welcomed and like an old friend when you ate there.
You know, I talked to our management team about doing table visits. You got to do it like Hollywood. Go by, smile, and say hello to the guests, you know. And his smile was so inviting that his mustache really exaggerated his smile.
Antonio Garcia, aka Hollywood, recently passed away from Alzheimer's after taking pictures of people at Mi Tierra for 50 years. Where did he get that nickname from?
He would go into Mi Tierra and La Margarita, and he would say, smile Hollywood stars, and everybody would just started giving them that nickname.
Eusebio Trujillo has also been with Mi Tierra for 50 years, and Garcia became a close friend, saying it was his charm that made everyone feel like they were special.
Whether you were famous or not, he was going to take your picture and sell it to you sooner or later.
Do you think that's why he was such a good photographer, because he could get anyone to smile?
Oh, definitely, definitely. He was the light in the room. He would come in and he was the life of the party.
His daughter, Mayra Larson, one of his 6 children, says he came from humble roots, from Piedras Negras, Mexico, moving to the U.S. and working odd jobs until he eventually was able to provide for his family by just working weekends and nights selling his photos. What did he teach you?
Never forget where your roots are from, where you come from, and just always stay grounded.
His loved ones say he didn't just capture pictures of people, but their hearts. And they hope he is remembered that way, especially during Hispanic Heritage Month. In honoring people of Hispanic Heritage Month, not just the people we see on these walls, but someone who is just kind of your everyday guy.
Having lived his life as a true man.
He always told us, as long as you have God first, you work hard, you can achieve anything.
Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News.
Story.
Loved learning about Hollywood's legacy, and I'm just really grateful that the family shared his story with us.
Absolutely. Thank you to that family. This weekend is going to be a hot weekend for us, Sarah, but you know what? It could be a lot worse. We could be pushing triple digits, and we're not going to be doing that.
And I'm okay with that.
Yeah, me too. Let's take a look outside right now. It is a nice start to the day. It's 72 in San Antonio. You go outside of the city center, and that's where temperatures are actually dipping into the 60s. So it's 69 in New Braunfels. Up in the hill country, Bernie, Kerrville, 64 degrees. It feels amazing up in those higher elevations in the hill country. Otherwise, it is going to be a mostly sunny and a quickly warming day. By noon, we'll be at 84. By 3 o'clock, 90 degrees. East southeast winds at 5 to 10 miles per hour. 93 for the high temperature in San Antonio today, and cooling into the 80s after sunset. While it'll be 93 in San Antonio, it'll be 94 in New Braunfels, 91 in Boerne, 95 in Uvalde, 92 in Kerrville, 93 in Poteet, and 95 in Floresville. We're running about 5 degrees warmer than what is average this time of year. And tomorrow will be just as warm, 93. The only difference from today to tomorrow, a few extra clouds in the afternoon, and 1 or 2 of those might end up producing a stray shower. There's a 10% chance, so a very low, measly chance for rain tomorrow. You can see that here kind of on the Futurecast, just 1 or 2 pop-up downpours possible in the afternoon and evening hours tomorrow. We will keep you posted. Otherwise, high pressure system is going to remain dominant in our forecast, especially for the first half of the week. That high is going to be moving directly overhead and keeping things hot. So it'll be 95 on Monday, 95 on Tuesday. We do see a small dip in the temperatures Wednesday and Thursday, but only just about 91 on Wednesday. So still warmer than average. The average high this time of year is 89. The reason for that small dip in temperature, a small chance for rain with a weak cool front. Wednesday, take a look at that. A small chance for rain, only 30% chance. We are not going to be looking at a drought denter by any means. Wednesday, 30% chance, 20% on Thursday and Friday. Not a good rainmaker in our forecast. That being said, I want to take a moment and talk about the next big thing. So beyond the next 7 days, that high pressure system is going to weaken as this low pressure system really takes hold. But we have to go all the way to next Sunday, September 28th, and potentially next Monday, September 29th, to see our next chance for decent rain. So that's a while away, about 7 to 10 days away for the potential for good rain. Things could change, and so I would encourage you to check back in for updates, but I am eyeing Sunday, September 28th, Monday, September 29th, and we need rain. You all know that drought is taking hold around San Antonio, maintains hold, but the CPC, the Climate Prediction Center, has issued its outlook through December, so through the end of the year, and it's not great news. According to their data, they expect drought to develop all across Texas in this yellow color, with drought continuing in this brown color for us here in San Antonio, out to Del Rio and out in West Texas. So we need rain. I would love to see that forecast for decent rain come to fruition on Sunday the 28th and Monday the 29th. But for the next week, it's just kind of going to be more of the same. Highs in the 90s, small chance for rain Wednesday and Thursday. We'll be back with more news after the break.
Taking a look outside with the roads at TransGuide. Oh, look at that sunrise, rosy fingered dawn. Beautiful. It's from, if you've read the Odyssey by Homer, Sarah.
Okay,
it's
maybe
the
I'm
opening
just
line. It's
rosy-fingered dawn.
That's the opening line. Anyways, beautiful out there. Not seeing any big traffic incidences. We'll be right back with final.
All right, it's going to be hot today and tomorrow. Highs in the low 90s. A small 10% chance for a stray afternoon shower tomorrow, but that still means there's a 90% chance it's not going to rain. So probably not going to rain tomorrow for many of us. As we look ahead to the week, hot on Monday when fall officially starts, we're going to be at 95. 95 on Tuesday. A small chance for rain Wednesday with a slight dip in temperatures into the low 90s. That's from a weak cool front, but it's beyond the next 7 days on September 28th. September 29th. That's our next chance for rain as for now. So we'll keep you posted as we refine that forecast.
At least nothing's above 95 for now.
Yeah,
I'll take that.
I mean, it's 95, so it's still hot. But
yeah.
Positive thinking.
We'll be back at 8 a.m.